A very warm greeting to all on International Women's Day. Women, as an architect of society, she establishes the institution of family life, builds the home, raises children, and make them good citizens. Her strength in totality contributes in the making of an ideal family, an ideal society, and an ideal state, which is a prerequisite of strong nation building. Her role, however, does not end with her contribution in building families. She contributes proactively in every aspect of nation development: economic, social, educational, political, ethical, moral, contributing in almost every field. Women are the backbone of the society. They play a positive role in shaping societies. They have always been seamlessly able to manage multiple responsibilities and challenges and have worked effortlessly to keep their home, family, community, and society well integrated and well organized. Today's women are reshaping the world. Empowering women can help the society to grow and develop at a faster pace. The empowerment and autonomy of women and improvement of their political, social, economic, and health status is a highly important end in itself. In addition, it is essential for the achievement of sustainable development. Economic empowerment of women is the most viable solution to integrate women to the developmental goals of the nation, and an Atmanirbhar Bharat may come out from this empowerment. The recent unforeseen enemy, the COVID-19, hit every sections of global societies hard, especially the poor daily wagers and the women. But even in these unfortunate and difficult situations, the women from different walks of life have emerged as anchors, helping the families, the society, and the nations. In their wisdom and foresight, the framers of our constitution realized that without political equality, it was between men and women, India could not be a true representative of democracy. The rights to suffrage further had tangible impact in raising women's power and influence in polity and society. Several studies have shown that women political participation result in tangible gains for democratic governance. Women are also often the strongest voice for peace and non-violence. Women's leadership and conflict resolution styles embody democratic ideals, and they tend to work in a less hierarchical and more participatory and more collaborative manner than their male colleagues. Thus, women's political contribution is crucial in building a strong and vibrant nation, and all out efforts have to be made for their greater and greater participation. Recent policy intervention in higher education by the present government has led to constant rise of numbers of women in higher education. The All India Survey of Higher Education 2018 reveals that the number of women enrolling in higher education in India have considerably gone up in the last 7 years. The total enrollment and the gross enrollment ratio of women in higher education has also increased. But the focus remains on pursuit of traditional courses. Business administration, law, financial management, computer administration, and many other, they still have more men than women. Similarly, there's an underrepresentation of women in higher education administration and management. So, in many universities, you will not find women uh, working as registrar or as controllers or as proctors even, and as vice chancellors. A recent study reveals that the university level, women are only one fourth at the top level. This needs to be remedied and therefore taken care in new education policy 2020. And I'm happy that today Professor Shakila Shamsu, who was very much involved in this, bringing up this policy, is here today. STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths find underrepresentation of women. Programs like Gati are targeting and encouraging women in STEM subjects and are now strongly being implemented to change the future participation of girls in future India. It's also important that mindsets of parents, familial attitudes and pressures, and prevailing social taboos, which are impediment to women and nation development, need to be replaced by forward looking, inclusive values. We have very well known women like banker Arundhati Bhattacharya, sportsperson PV Sidhu, Mary Com, Hima Das, agriculture researchers like Paramjit Khurana, test tube baby fame Dr. Indira Hinduja, and missile lady Tessie Thomas. There are a handful of those who made their work known globally. In contrast, a vast majority of illiterate and resource-starved poor women remain cash and skill stripped. Women form a humongous workforce, but the absence of skills limit their contribution in the GDP and India's economic process. The Startup and Stand Up India initiatives empower women entrepreneurs and provide financial assistance to those who are setting up their businesses. Through these innovative schemes, the government aims to turn women from job seeker to job creator. These entrepreneurships, or ladies who have done phenomenal odd jobs from domains of their homes, are the latest to attract attention in the world of business. And they have particularly been many of them have started during the COVID-19 period. They are not shying away from making this extra contribution of theirs in nation's economy and nation's well-being. Every effort counts in nation building. Professor Shika was talking about history. We have a lot of success stories of women achievements, but are rarely highlighted in our history. If we examine deeper in the pages of history, we'll see that the contribution of women in the field of science, arts, sports, finance, and even the freedom struggle and political leadership has been as worthy as men. But somehow their contributions are not much talked about or have been conveniently forgotten with time. Our duty is to showcase these achievements, to encourage those women, and to encourage other women too. Give them their due place in history. It's essential that sound education policies, along with stringent implementation, ought to work in tandem to usher in the overall societal change. Lot of efforts are being made at the ministry level, Ministry of Education, and at all levels to see that this comes after the NEP 2020 has become a reality. In the end, I would like to say that educational institutions can play a vital role in bridging the gender disparities and countering the issue and challenges in arena of women development. So, if you are a woman and heading an institution, or are or you are a dean or head of the department or a vice chancellor, you are fortunate. Repay this to the nation by empowering women. Utilize your position well, constructively for betterment of the institutions, the society, and the nation. Gear your courses and programs that facilitate women participation in every discipline, especially the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths courses. Encourage these participation in unconventional courses. The seeds you sow today will bear fruits tomorrow. So we have to be ready today. The task of nation building is not an easy task. It's an arduous exercise and a complex process. It involves both men as well as women equally. There's a saying which says that the hand that rocks the cradle can rock the world too. So, friends, make that hand strong. Thank you very much.